You know, I had all the best intentions. I had all the best intentions of making this a smooth transition for once in the life of this channel. And I was like, man, I was so proud. I got the music to work and everything is perfect. And I got the switch over to work just perfect. And then, yeah, a mic would really help. You still can't hear me. No, stop. You can't hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. You lie. You lie. You lie. You make me look for stuff. Oh, man. And everything was going so well. Oh, that's okay. I hadn't said anything and I caught it just before I started to yap. So that's okay. Hello, everybody in chat. Welcome. For some reason, this stream got scheduled for 5:35 p.m. I don't know what happened. I must have hit a wrong button when I set the stream up on Friday, whenever it was I did it. I must have hit a wrong button because I always go at 5 p.m. Unless I consciously know I'm going to be late. Then I wouldn't do 5:35. I would do 5:30 or 5:15 or 6. But that's okay. So let's see who's in chat. Then we'll get going. And it looks like Jerry was here. And Jerry, thank you very much for always being a great supporter of this channel. I appreciate it. Well, I think of it. Well, let's say hi to everybody first. Jerry's here. DeWitt 3D Canada's here. How you doing, DeWitt? Oh, that's me, right? 3D Medic Vince is here. Nick is here. Radioactive Scale RC. Jeff Thorson. Low Sync. 3D Medic Vince, we already said hello to. Jerry, we said hello to. And who else is here? David Walton is here. And Cliff D is here. And Tuxedo. And that's it for now in chat. If I missed you, forgive me. Well, forgive me, whatever. But if I missed you, forgive me. And hello, everyone. I am going to right now, while I think of it, open up the draw for the Polymaker Filament. Let me go ahead and actually enable the draw, which is there. And I'm going to put a link in the chat. And the link is also, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. The link is also in the description. That's what I'm trying to say. The link is in the description. And I'm going to publish this form. I'm going to copy the link here, and we are going to go ahead and, there we go. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put the link and we're going to post it to the top of the comments. So go ahead and enter for your chance to win $35 in Polymaker product. Go ahead. So we're going to paste the link here. Control V. Did I paste that twice? No, I did paste it twice. Hang on one sec. I pasted it in here twice. Control V there, just once. We're going to put that link in here, and I am going to go ahead and I'm going to pin that link. There we are. The link is now pinned to the top of the messages, and it's also in the description. So go ahead, enter to win yourself some Polymaker, and we will be doing that draw in about an hour and a half. I don't know, my camera used to be over here. I moved it over here for a few different reasons, and so you're going to catch me looking over here where the camera used to be all night. I guarantee it. Anyways, we'll see what happens. So, Jose Ferreira, hello. Left-hand side of the camera angle to the, yes, I switched the camera. I did just for something different, and mainly because we have the Voron 2.4 300 millimeter on the bench right now. This is the printer that is going to be getting the box turtle. We're on the bench, but we do have a MCU error on it because I upgraded some stuff on it and I've crashed the clipper for some reason. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I'll look at it later. We're not going to be ready to put the box turtle on it yet anyways, but I wanted to get it on the bench in preparation for the box turtle. So there we are. There we are. David Stuff, hello. I see you just popped in, and John Kurt, I'm not going to try and pronounce your name, John. John is here. And then we have, oh man, Brian. Why? I'm just going to call you Brian. I can't pronounce some of the name. Tintalon is here as well. And I think I caught up with everybody. I'll try and say hi to you as you come on. If I miss you, I'll catch you eventually. So we left off last week with working on the Respooler motors. Now, I went ahead. Remember, we had a problem with one of the motors not spinning properly. Turns out the issue, I reprinted some parts, didn't need to. Turns out the main issue on that was the bearing the bearings in here were not in. All I had to do to fix that was basically move the bearing, in other words, push it in a little bit further on the one side than the other. Because what was happening was when I would go to tighten this in to screw it into the sides here, it was pulling the rod a little bit, thus pulling the bearing a little bit of alignment. And the noise we're hearing had nothing to do with the clearance inside the shell here. The noise was the two gears rubbing on one another under a little bit of pressure. So right now it's turning just fine because I was able to actually get those bearings in here aligned much better than I had them, obviously. So that was the main issue that we were having with these. So I fixed that. I went ahead and completed the construction of a couple of these. Oh, camera's over here again, see? And partially did the other ones, but I wanted to save some so I could show you a couple of the issues I ran into with them, and I can explain them as I go. So a couple things. So let's see where we are on the instructions here. And I'm going to do it 3D Canada. Good thing 8mm shafts are not hardened. I also had trouble fitting the bearings and had to sand them. There we go. I did get a comment on the last video, one of the videos, when I did end up sanding them. The comment was you shouldn't have to sand it if your printing tolerances are right. Well, I don't remember who said that, if it's somebody on the stream, but it was nothing to do with printing tolerances. It was to do with the fact that I took a hammer and I hammered into the actual ends of these bearings, and I flayed, not enough to be visually or physically, I couldn't feel it, but just enough with hitting the hammer that I just obviously flayed the end of that just enough to not be able to go into that bearing comfortably. And just by sanding that a little bit, it fixed it. So it was nothing to do with tolerances, but hey, you know what? It could very well have had something to do with tolerances, but hey, in that case, it didn't. So the Ranch Kid, hello. How you doing? Not sure what day yet, but you'll start your live builds also on the Box Turtle. I'm looking forward to that, Jerry. That's awesome. You can learn from all my mistakes. You didn't hammer yours and still had to sand them. Oh, okay, interesting. So it happens, right? So, okay, the one thing I found too, so let me grab the, here's the diagram where we are at. So we are on the Box Turtle extruders. So hang on, let me share this with you guys. I think we're a little bit beyond. Let's go back here. We're in the Box Turtle here, extruders. We're on the respoolers, okay? So I'm just gonna zip ahead here. Oh, no, we finished off at this point right here. We've done that, we finished that, and then we got to this sanity check, which is when we checked our bearings for spinning, and that's what we fixed. Now we're onto this stage here, okay? And I have, this one here. I have already done that I've completed a couple steps on 2. I completed this stage on this one here, like this. Okay, so we got that on here like they've asked to do that. So what I want to show you is a couple of mistakes I made, and try not to make the mistakes. It's a matter of reading the instructions carefully. Figured out your Stream Deck is problem is software reset settings and fix it. Good job, awesome, Jerry. Because the Stream Deck's a pretty cool little tool. I use the Stream Deck religiously. Okay, so we have the parts that go on there, which are these little guys here. Okay, now the instructions clearly say, and I'm guilty. Anybody who's watched any of my builds, including the Vorons, any of the Rat Rig, any builds I've done, I'm guilty of not necessarily paying fully close attention to instructions. The instructions clearly say slide the bearing spacers onto the axle, okay, followed by the wheel drives. These should be flush against the bearings and the frame slides. See those little bearing spacers? Yeah. Do you think that when I put one on first, do you think I remembered or even thought to put those bearing spacers on? No, I put these on first. These are going on a little bit tighter, which is fine. But once I got them on, they were really, really, really freaking hard to get off. I ended up taking side cutters, and I actually side cut right through this till I could just break it right off of here because it was tough. So do not forget to put, those are the printed ones. Yes, these are the tiny little printed ones. They look like this here. Okay, there's one in my fingers right there. Okay, and these go on right here like this, one on one side, Okay, it's a little tight fit, but that's okay. And then this one goes one on the other side. Do not forget to put these on. I did on the first one, and I paid the price of having to break my thing off to get it off. Fortunately, I noticed it on the very first one. I hadn't put both of them on. So yeah, you never remember the FM. I don't know what that means, Jose, but hey. So, okay, so once we got this on, these ones here, now there was a little issue with these. I know it's not the cleanest job here, but it seems to be there's a little thin layer there, but that's not affecting anything at all, that little bit of an imperfection. When you put the heat sinks in these, Jerry, here's a good one to remember. Don't put them in too deep, because this has to slide through over that shaft. And if you put those heat sinks in too deep, that one's fine. If you put the heat sinks in too deep, they're going to bulge out in there, and it's going to be impossible to get it onto that shaft. Oh, never read the effing manual. Okay, I get it. That's what that means. So yeah, so I had to reprint a couple of these because I had put the heat sinks in a little too far. So I reprinted a couple of these, redid them, and now these things will come on and they slide on relatively simple like that, right in flush like that. And we'll take the other one. A couple of mine were really tough to put on, but these ones seem to be cooperating. And then that goes on just like that. So they go on there. Then we're going to take some M3. Let's see. Let's get back to the instructions here. Okay, so again, don't forget those little spacers. Okay, then we get in here and we're going to get some M36 button head cap screws. For the LDO kits, use button head cap screws for some reason. It looks like the other kits have the little different shaped hole there, and they're using socket head. We're going to use M36 button head cap screws for these. Okay, so I don't even know if they're in the kit, but I have some button head cap screws right here. So I'm going to take 4 of these. And we're going to use these to tighten those little wheels onto the shaft. Yes, sirree, we are. Okay. So that's with this little guy. And then these go in. And you don't want to over tighten them because you can crack your plastic still. But you'll feel when you hit the bottom, and you just give it a nice little snug up there. There's no flat on the shaft. Tighten them, but I don't think these things are under a lot of pressure. So I don't think it's going to really be a big deal. Bill Brothers milled flats on those shafts. He has a PM mill. Yeah, if you can put flats on them, I'm sure it's fine. But that, I'd be hard pressed to pull that off. And I don't think these are going to be under enough pressure to really have that as an issue. So we'll just put this one on as well. This camera gives really nice true colors, this little Canon EOS. There we go. And one more in here. Bill Brothers, and PM mill. Don't know what a PM mill is, but I imagine that's something that you just can't buy and stick in your basement. And like so. There we go. And then I'll just check that. And that is on there very tight. Okay, there we go. So we now have these two put to the same thing. Now the other lesson I learned, here's some spare washers here. Throw these in my spare drawer kit. Oh, I'm going to back up. Jerry, you got the LDO kit. I screwed up, and I'm not going to Precision Matthews. That's what it stands for. Okay, tighten the wheels enough and they will start to slip. Oh, yes. That's true, Tuxedo. They will. I had that issue, but that's okay. The other thing I did, and I'm not about to back up right now, and I just found this out, is LDO did also provide, remember the blue gears that are inside this? It's the one that slips in and it interlocks with the gear that's on the little motor. Well, LDO did also provide, they did also provide those, so I didn't need to use the printed gears, and I totally spaced out and did not realize that they provided these. Mine are ABS, these are nylon. Mine are working fine. If they ever wear out, then I have these as a backup, I suppose, which is what I'll end up using them for. But don't forget, these gears and the little gear that is in on the motor in this, they've provided those gears for you, printed out of MJF, Michael J. Fox, MJF nylon, whatever MJF stands for. Anyways, I made that mistake. It is what it is. Okay, the other thing to be careful about, And I know this might have happened in other people's videos, but I don't know, maybe it didn't happen to anybody. Hey, Clown Hammer, maybe I'm just, they most likely are loose. They most likely are loose. These, well, I can't really turn them. Anyways, let's just say, so when you go to put this part, okay, so actually let's go to the screen and we'll see what the next part is. So the next part is to take these, the tires, I guess they're calling them tires, to slide on the wheels. Make sure the tire is in the correct orientation so the groove will lock into the wheel. If you're having trouble getting the TPU tires on, it may help to heat them up a little bit. Okay, I didn't do that, but what happened with mine is basically you can see there's a groove in the tire. If you look closely inside here, right there, you can just see it's reflecting on the groove right here. Okay, and so basically that groove is going into that groove on the wheel. So these are going, so you have a little lip here. That lip goes towards the outside, so that basically you're going to have two lips, one on the outside, one on the inside. When you're going to put it on, don't force this on too hard, because what's going to happen is what happened to me. You see this one right here? You notice how that little lip on the outside is broken off? Because I forced it on and that little lip came off. So that little lip came off, and then somebody said, well, it should still work. Well, no, what happens now is if I put this on here, this will go on here, no problem. If I put it on there, but what's going to happen is now the rubber is actually going to spin around the plastic, and I don't think that's supposed to happen. So I reprinted it. So let me get this off. This is a little bugger to get off here because it goes in that lip. But I did get it off. I just have to get it started and then it'll come off easy, I promise. There we go. There we go. So what I ended up doing, and here's one that I reprinted, okay? So all I did was just make sure that when I come down over this, I go around and lift that lip over that first lip on the piece, just like so. So that lip is all lifted over, and then this just goes on, snaps into place. And that's what it should look like right there. And now this does not turn at all on the plastic. It's kind of locked in because this little tiny insignificant, what I thought was an insignificant lip, locks that piece right in there. So that's what that looks like. So that was that's my couple lessons for doing this. So now we have the 4 remaining wheels that have got to go on the other rewinders here. So now this one I found tricky. Now I had to, because the tolerances were kind of tight, and I did this off camera just because I knew it might happen. I took the exact same size drill, I forget what it was, 3/8 or something, and I kind of just reamed this hole out, not too much, because the tolerance of this pin going in this hole was very tight, and I wasn't able to properly tighten this down the way it should be. So I've cleaned those out a little bit. So yeah, that works nicely with the rubber tires. The TPU tires are stiffer. Okay. Okay, so for these, we just basically get the thread going here. And it says basically in the instructions to turn the tires, it says on here when you go to do them, okay, to screw them on and firmly until they firmly click and lock into place. I've not heard a click and a lock into place, but they're on pretty much as tight as they will go. So I've got one on now. Oh, that one did click. Okay, that make me a liar. That one did click. Let's see if this one clicks. And you won't hear the click. It's just a very subtle click. And that one did click too. So that did click. So they just clicked into place. There we go. And then this whole thing is what the spool is going to run on for rewinding and feeding. Some give an audible click, but some don't exactly. So yeah, I have a feeling that these ones went in a lot easier than my other ones. And you can just see You can basically just tell if they're in properly. Well, I don't know. You hear that click, and the other ones I didn't hear the click, and I tried to tighten them a little tighter. And it was like, no, just because I didn't hear the click, it didn't mean it didn't work. So there's another one here. So we have this one now. Same sort of thing. Get this on, and there, I heard the click there. Okay, and this one, I'll hold this one, and I heard the click there. So these ones are on just peachy keen, just like so. Don't forget the spacers. Oh, there we go. Those 4 are done. These 4 guys right here are done, ready to go. Just a couple lessons I learned, and again, me being me and the fun things I always go through. There we go. That's where you need to be careful, yeah. Okay, let's follow on, see what's next. Now that we got these all finished, and I believe that's the last page of this section. Friendly reminder, you need 4 respoolers in total to assemble your box turtle. Before you move on to the next section, ensure you have 4 units built. We do have 4 units built. The next section is going to be the turtleneck. Now, I hope I printed the correct parts for the turtleneck. This is the buffer. Okay, so we're going to, I'm pretty sure I got all the proper parts printed for the turtleneck. Let's just have a look. This is where I should be eating some Haribo's or something at this point. Let's see. Here we are. There's the 2 case parts for the turtleneck. Here, let me switch over to this. There's the 2 encasement parts. So the first one we want is this one here, it looks like. Okay, and we're going to put some heat insets in that. Looks like we're probably going to put some heat insets in. Oh no, we're not putting heat insets in this side. Okay, so let's keep these parts out for now until we get on to the next proper step. It's only 3 parts. This, and another part, right? Nope. No, I don't need heat insets in there, just in here. Where is my heat press? There it is. My heat inset press. Here we are. Let's zoom out a bit on this. There we go. Let's plug this in and turn it on. Oh, you're such a good heat press. Oh, look at you go. I'm trying to turn the heat press on. Sorry. I know, that's awful. I think, where's the 3rd part to this? I must have printed the 3rd part. I hope I printed the 3rd part. Don't know what it looks like yet. Wait till we get that in instructions. It might be a accent part, for all I know. The buffer insert ECAS fittings in those. Oh, okay, so we have a buffer insert kit here somewhere, don't we? Anyways, let's just go with the instructions. So we're going to go. Oh, it helps if I take the rubber coating off of this before I turn the iron on, and it is, yeah, it's getting warm. There we go. So we're going to put 4 heat insets in these, and this little guy. Okie doke. Uno, dos. That's as far as I can count in Spanish. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Mañana. Okay, so once we're heated up, we'll get these 4 heat insets going. And yes, it's supposed to be the accent color. Then it's probably in my accent box, wherever it is. Okay. Oh, my hand's right in the way of that. Like, don't you love it when somebody has a nice camera view and then they do that and then their hand's right in the way? So how about if I do this? Look at there. That way you can see if I burn myself. Witness this. Are we heated? Yeah, we're going in slowly. I prefer personally to put these in nice and slow than too fast, because if you get that too hot and it goes in too fast, I used to tend to overshoot them and they'd go in way too far. So I do a 245-degree iron for pressing heat insets. And I just be very patient with them, and just like that. Now be careful. I've done many a times burned myself on this. Try French for Portuguese. Dois, tres, cuatro. I just know English and American. That's the only languages I really am good at. English and American. That's funny. A. That's Canadian. A. Not quite deep enough. And the last one, last but least, this one. Oh, that's not focus. Focus, camera. Focus. You're supposed to be really good at focusing on stuff like this. It's out of focus a bit. Big deal. I think it's focusing on something different. No, that last one's going to go in just a hair more. There we go. Okay, I think those are, this one can go down just a little bit more. I want to make sure that this closes right when it does close. And there's nothing sticking up, so these look really good. So let's turn this off. Doop. Turn this guy off. Move you aside. Okay. Das vigos. Now let's, where's my mouse? There's my mouse. Move that back over, move my trays back over. Okie doke. And we're going to switch over to this. Okay. Oh, we got to put more of those things in. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Insert fittings as shown. Note these are meant to be tight. You can lay them flat on the table and press to the printed parts onto them. Okay, so we need, one is going in here. The other one is an accent part, which looks like it is. I know I printed that part. I better have printed that part. I better have printed that part. Why can't I find that part? You have got to be kidding me. I know I printed it. I recognize that part. It printed flat. I guess I'm going to be printing a part right now. Fortunately, I have my accent color filament in there. It's not in here. Did I print it in blue by mistake? No, it's not in here. And let me just double check my spare parts box. I'm pretty sure it's not in here. It's not in here. Oh dear. Yes, Andrew, you are right. Oh dear. That's okay. I can print this and move on to something else while we're waiting. No problem. That's the beauty of this build, is you can skip a part, move on to something else, come back to that part. This is the buffer. The buffer doesn't really need to be finished in order to continue this. But let's find really quick and see where that piece is in my file. So I am going to Box Turtle STLs, base build, turtleneck. Let's see. No, I don't think this is the piece that I want. Just opening up here. Oh, is that the piece? It's called the slide. How did I miss the slide? How the heck? Okay, let me just quickly get this piece started. Device, we're printing this on our P1P. And we have ASA in the P1P. Prepare. Resync the filament, so we're with our ASA. We want 0.2, and we want 4 wall loops, 4 top, 4 bottom. Whoops. And we want 20% infill with gyroid, 20 gyroid. And we're going to slice it and dice it, and it's going to be a 19-minute print. That's not bad. Let's go ahead and print the plate and send and confirm. Yeah, we should be 19 minutes to print this. It's just downloading it right now. Da-da-da-da-da. It's a quick print. I'd printed on my Voron 2.4, but I'm having problems with the firmware. Yeah, what can I say? There we go. Oh, thank you so much, Andrew. Appreciate that. The box itself is really cool looking. The way the colors worked out on this, let me get this mat out of the way here real quick. Oops. Oh, I don't want that there. Hang on. I really like the way the box kind of turned out with the blue, with the pink inserts, with the light blue, the Polymaker teal in there on the bottom. Turned out really nice. So excited to get that going. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get at least one of these conduits, not conduits. Jeez, man. Whatever these little things are called. I get brain farts sometimes. I know what this is called, but do you think I can remember it sometimes? It's called a forget it. It's embarrassing that I don't remember the name of that. It's really embarrassing. I want to remember it before somebody posts it. Ooh, that's tough. I'm going to do my cheater way. Coupler, thank you. It's a coupler. I know that, Jerry. It's a coupler. ECAS. It's a coupler. We're going to use our span wrench and get that coupler put into this guy right here. This is a nice little tool, but you got to be careful. In some cases, you might want to pad it if you think you're going to squish a part or something. But this is a great little tool for pushing things in like this, because you can span it and it actually it pushes it in level, basically, unlike pliers, which would tend to skew it. There we go. So the coupler's in that one. I got to do a video one day of all the different tools I use, because I have some really, really handy tools. And that's going to inevitably eventually go together like so, once I get that insert slider piece printed. Okay, let's see what's next on this. Maybe I can continue on this while the other piece is printing. We'll see. Flat tooth channel locks. That would be a great idea. I should find some. That's what these are called, right? Channel locks. Yeah, it'd be nice to have. I'd love to have a pair of these with nice flat surfaces right in here. These have a few teeth in them, so. But Knipex wrench pliers are ideal. Knipex. Let me look at that. I'm going to write that down. You guys always give me some really cool tips and make me spend money. You know that when I hear about a tool that would be very helpful and I get it, and then I get that tool and I find I never have to use it again. I had a pen here. Oh, there it is. I'm going to write that down, Tuxedo. K-N-I-P-E-X. K-N-I-P-E-X. Knipex. Wrench. Okay, I wrote that down. I need to look that up. Thank you for the tip. That's what this thing is all about. Made in Germany. Germany makes excellent stuff. Believe me, I have a lot of German-made tools at my business. Okie dokie. Let's get back here and let's open this window up again. And let's see what we're doing next. So we were missing this part, so we're gonna do that in a minute. And so we can go ahead and do this. So we're gonna put some self-tapping screws in here, M2 self-taps. And we're gonna mount those two micro switches, the two D2F micro switches in there with the wires pointing down like so. Love these instructions, by the way. I know I've said this over and over and over, but if you're out there and you're from another company, whether it be this or whether it be Voron or anybody, do your instructions like this. It's well worth the time, and it's a whole lot less frustrating for people on some things. These are beautiful. Okay, because you can turn them around, you can zoom right in on them, closely. Okay, it's amazing. Okay, so let's go ahead and find these parts. You might want to solder the wires before mounting the switches. Oh, interesting. Okay, we'll have a look at that. Now there should be a separate kit here for. Is this the kit? No, this is the. Oh, for the buffer. Oh, this is the buffer kit right here. Jerry says we all learn from each other and no one knows it. No one knows it all. That's so true. I hope that I can teach somebody something a little bit here and there, but we definitely all learn from each other. Oh, see, I could have used these Bowden couplers in there anyways, but I guess I used some spare ones from another part. So we're going to pop these Bowden couplers out, put them with the other ones. There we go. And there's the little switches. I think these are the switches that they want. DF, D2F, D2F. Wires are already soldered. So here's the, this is what I love about, another one of the things I love about the LDO kits. There's the D2F switch with the L cable and buffer D2F. So I have those. They've already got the wires. Wires are already connected, everything. So I don't have to worry about connecting those wires. It's done. That's one of the things I really love about the LDO kits. So there we go. You should have ones already wired, just need to move the levers. Yeah, just to bend the levers. Yeah. So there we go. Okay, so that's the BT hardware, BT buffer hardware. So we're going to keep this stuff handy. We need those little, I'm assuming those self-tapping screws would be in this kit, but probably, oh, there they are. I see them. I see them. Okay, so if you're just getting here and if you're new here, go ahead and like this and subscribe if you won't mind, please. I hate asking for subscriptions, but hey, what the heck. And if you just got here, remember at the top of the chat, it's pinned, and in the description, there's a link where you can go and fill out a form to win yourself some Polymaker. Okay, you get $35, 30 US dollars worth of Polymaker product. Go ahead and enter that. So that is going on this piece right here. And these are being screwed into these tiny little holes here. We have two, they're the same length, so I don't have to worry that one's different than the other. No, we're good. Okay. And we're going to use 4 of these M210 self-tapping screws. It came with a paper noting this step. Oh, did it? Oh, okay. Oh, did it? Let me see. Maybe that's what that paper over here is. Hang on, I kept this. Here we go. This is probably the paper it came with. Let's see. This, I think this is the one you're talking about right here. So this paper says, due to an issue, hang on, let me just get back to here. So this says, due to an issue with switches missing levers, a simple modification is required when you receive the for TN buffer and BT hard mount kits. Okay, locate the Omron D2LFL switches in the Filamatrix bag. Oh, so I have to locate that switch in the Filamatrix bag. Find the 2 D2L buffer and buffer 2 cables for the TM buffer and BT hard mounts bag. Remove the existing switches from the buffer 1 and buffer 2 cables and replace them with the Omron D2FL switches from the Filamatrix bag. Alternatively, if you are confident in your technical skills, you may detach the levers from the Omron D2FL switches and attach them to the switches on the buffer 1 and buffer 2 cables. This method is not recommended. Okay, let me find the Filamatrix bag. Here's the Filamatrix bag. If you are careful, it's easy to just move the levers. Okay, well, let me have a look at the switches they're talking about in here. They want the Omron D2FL switches. Okay, so I'm going to find those Omron D2L switches in here, which is these ones right here, Omron D2FL switches. Okay, I'm just going to put everything back in the Filamatrix bag because this is another part we got to build and I got to print everything for yet. I'm going to reprint my whole hot end for the printer for this. So all depends on if you're better if you're more comfortable at moving levers or soldering. Oh, interesting. Okay, Filametrix bag back. So here's the two switches. I just want to see what we're talking about first. I have to visualize. I have to visualize what I'm looking at here first. So I'm trying to. I hate opening these bags. How did we end up fixing those motor assemblies? We ended up the bearings were a little off skew in the holes, and I had to just slightly shift the angle of the bearings, and it worked out well. Okay, here's these two switches. So here we go. Let me show you what we're looking at here. Boom. Okay, so it looks like the difference is these two switch. It's obviously a different style of switch. This one's got the little clippy dippy thing here, and this one doesn't. Okay, so I think what they're trying to say, there's no real pictures here. Remove the existing switches from the buffer 1 and buffer 2 cables. Okay, alternative, you're confident your technician is going to detach the levers from the armor onto a DFL. So they're saying I can detach these levers. How the heck? I guess they just pinch. Oh, I see. So they want to put lever. They just basically, I think what they want is to take this lever, just correct me if I'm wrong, this lever here, and we're going to insert that lever into this little hole here so that we have levers on these switches. Okay. Okay, so this lever looks like it takes just a little bit of pinching to get out. So let me just see. I don't want to break anything here, but I'm just looking at how this lever looks like it's designed. It looks like we squeeze the tip of this. Same model, different option. We squeeze the tip of this very carefully. So let me just get a nice little... Okay, so without bending too much, I think if I squeeze the tip of this, that comes out. Okay, and that looks, so then we have just this little, whoops, so that's just this little lever here we have here. Okay, and then we come back in here, we slide one side in, and then we carefully slide the other side in. Hang on. Okay. Big fingers doesn't help. Big hands don't help. But that's okay. Okay. Get one side in. Okay. And then we're going to slide the other side in. Then I think I separated them a little too far. So now all I got to do is span that a little bit. And now I have that switch, that lever on these switches like that. And it looks like I'm going to span that just a hair more. I'm going to put my sharp knife in here. And we're just going to twist it. There we go. So I close that up and I just make sure I didn't bend that switch. There we go. So I think that is what we're after, is that right there. Okay, so that's one. So we'll keep these other switches, obviously, because these may be used in the Filametrix. I don't know. Okay, so now on this one, we're going to just very carefully, as little as possible. There we go. Take that one out. Okay, like so. Don't lose those screws. Then we're going to go ahead on here. Oops, I'm out of the camera view here. We're going to push this in. Oops, I'm better off to put this other side in first. With big hands, it's tough, but that's okay. It's no excuse. And then there we go, and there we go. Span that a bit with my little There we go. And we got this one done. There we go. So no, I don't have to worry about the wires. Okay, so that worked out good. There we go. There's the two of those. Whew. Got it. Okay. Awesome. Little fiddly. Now, it looks like these go into here with the switches. So let's look at this. Okay, so the switches are facing opposite directions. So we zoom in on this, and then we look at the way these are going. So we have one switch opening one way, one switch opening the other way. So the switch where the oh, whatever, where this plug thing is open, is facing as open. I tell you, brain farts, I'm telling you. Anyways, whatever. So the switch at this end is going in this way, like that. Crap, forget it. I need my tiny driver. I need my tiny driver. It's one of those nights, you know, my brain either works or it doesn't. Okay. Here we go. It's age. It will only get worse. Oh, shut up, Jerry. I know, that's a scary thing. Is it will only get worse. Okay. That one goes in that way, and the other one, which just about fell, is going to go in with the switch that way. Okay. Oh. Let's put these needle nose away. Getting in my way. There we go. And again, don't have to crank on these things. Just so they're done. There we go. So that's what that guy is looking like, just like that. Okay. And the other piece is printing away over there. Hopefully it's doing a good job printing. We shall see. And now with those done, okay. Next. Now we got to put that part in. And then I believe after that, we close the whole thing up with M3x8. And that's it for that piece. Okay. So we're going to, let's see how much time is left in this print over here. Shouldn't be much because it was only a 21-minute print. There is 7 minutes left. 7 minutes. So I can quickly move on to the next portion. Actually, I'm going to put these other two switches back in this bag so I don't lose them. I don't know if I need these switches for the Filametrix or not. But just in case, I know somebody out there is going to tell me I do or don't, but just in case, it's going to go back into this bag. There we go. I'm still racking my brain over the names of those things. They are called, oh, for goodness sake, it's driving me freaking nuts. Coupler. It's a coupler. Damn it. Okay, let's duplicate this window. That way I can keep this one, the other one open, and let's go on to the next portion, which is going to be the General assembly. Look at that. We're generally assembling things now. Before we continue, this section will end with a box turtle that is ready for initial validation and setup. The next section will cover finishing trim pieces. In this section, each lane will be assembled one at a time, starting from the 4 far right and working back to lane 1, or starting from lane 4 far right, looking back to lane 1 far left. The intent is to demonstrate intended wire routing for box turtle. If you are confident in your abilities, you may do all 4 lanes in each step in one go. I'm not confident in my abilities. Otherwise, while awkward, this section will take you from pile of modules to a functioning box turtle. Now, did I miss anything? I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. We've got this guy, we've done this, and now we're doing general assembly. I don't think I missed anything. Okay, there's another one of those funky switches. D2FL switches, so we got to get 4 of those. Install each D2F motor switch in the lever prep with 2 M210 self-tapping screws. So to ensure your switches are wired before installation, you will need 4 of these. 42 pages. 42 freaking pages. You got to be kidding me. Okay, so let's find those switches. Now, why don't I think spare part fasteners? That's the Filamatrix kit, which we don't want, and the kit we're on right now. Install each D2F micro switch with 2 MT10s, and we need 4 of these. So where? Okay, I've got the parts. I'm sure those are accent parts. There's 1, 2. Doing all 4 lanes at the same time. Am I? I don't know. Those should have the levers installed already. What should? What are we talking? Because I don't see those. I don't see the D2F micro switches here. Unless I'm missing something. These do not have levers installed or anything like that. These are just these little funky little things here. The prep switches. So this is what I got right here. I've got these 4 pieces printed. I'm looking for 4 of those switches that I just put back in the Filamatrix bag. Talking about the switches. Oh, it should have the wires. Oh, they're already wired. Oh, where's all my wires? Oh, that's exactly where I'm looking. Where's all my wires? I put them somewhere. Oh, that's right. I still have a bundle of wires here somewhere. Where did I put them? Are they under? Oh, you know what? I have all my I have my other motors in here, and underneath here, all my other wires are hiding under here. Aha. There they are, right there. Right there. They were hiding. I was confused. Things to check before stream. Are you kidding, Jerry? That's what live streaming's all about. Live streaming is showing the confusion and the misunderstanding and the, in my case, stupidity. No. These are what I'm after right here. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 of them right here. All 4 different lengths. I don't know. We're going to follow these instructions. I don't know if I want to attempt all 4 at once. There we go. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. I knew I had seen them. I know I'd seen them, know I'd saw them. We're doing it live. There you go. Doing it live takes guts. It really does. So now there's my M2x10 self-tapping screws. The no lever switch is the right one for the filaments. You just checked. Cool. Okay. Oh, for the Filamatrix. Perfect. That's funny that they would have mixed that up. And that's probably something that they fix in future kits, I would think. Okay, so just looking at this, zooming in to make sure that this goes on the flat on the top, and this one goes with the switches facing out that way, right here. Okay, so these, let's just go ahead and do this. So these are basically going on like that, so that the lever is facing the outside of the switch, basically like that. Okay, let's start some screwing. Unfortunately, I don't have a bit this small, a hex bit this small for my power driver. Okay. Get that one started. Could have spent the last 7 minutes at print looking for switches. Yeah, I know. I know I saw them and it was like, but I confused myself because I put them under something. I saw doing all four authentication at the same time. So you check and do all the same steps each time like you did with the motors. Ah, okay. We'll see. Stupid autocorrect? Yeah, right. Pull the switch on yourself. Pull the switch on yourself. There. There's one. Oh, print just finished. I can hear the filament rewinding. I'll just wire these up, then we'll go back and we'll finish the buffer. Here's the longest of the switches. Longest of the wired switches. And they say recommend, if you get the kit, obviously without the pre-wired, if you get a kit other than the LDO kit, you may have to wire it. And they do suggest wiring it before you screw it in, which makes sense because if you wire it after you screw it in, you chance melting your plastic with the soldering iron. But just do yourself a favor, get the LDO kit. This message sponsored by LDO. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You could have never do a live stream. You would be banned from YouTube. What would you be swearing too much? I didn't think I could ever do live streaming when I first started. Talk to Dan. He's known me since day one, basically. We're speaking Nexus 3D. But anyways, talk to Dan, and I was so nervous to live stream. Oh my goodness, I was so nervous. But hey. Andrew Humphrey. My goodness, the comedian is here. He is here. Okay. And one more. 6 o'clock, almost on the nose. This is the shortest one. And I have made sure I have all my switches facing the proper way, I think. And yes, 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 and yes, I did. It didn't say anything about facing them any different ways. Okay. There. And there. There we go. 4 switches done. Let me go get that part that just finished printing. Oh. As I touch the 100-degree bed. It's hot, it's hot, it's hot. There, cool it down on the bench for a second. Hey, Joseph Carver, hello, hello. So let me check. How many entries do we have into our Polymaker draw? Polymaker draw. Our Polymaker draw, we have, it looks like, drum roll, please. We have 33 entries. We have 59 people watching the stream, 33 entries into the Polymaker draw. There is a pinned link at the top of the chat, and there's also a link in the description of the video. If you want to enter to win $30, $30 or $35, if you want to win some free Polymaker, what the heck? You're going to get a gift card from Polymaker. You can spend it on whatever you want. If you find a couple rolls on sale, you can get a couple spools for it too, right? So go ahead, enter, click on that link, fill out the form, and enter the draw. We're going to be doing the draw in about 30 to 35 minutes. So be there or be, you know what they say. Anyways, That's what they say. There you go. 59 watching and only 26 likes. Yeah, people don't like my screw ups, I think. So I think that's what it's all about there, Jerry. Okay. Thank you for doing your job so quick there, Bamboo. Okay, we have this piece printed. Now we will, and it did a pretty decent job of printing it. We got a little bit of, I find when I print, and sometimes when I print an ABS, depending on the build plate, I'm using a little bit of like residual on it, and I just take the heat gun and I burn that little bit of residual off, and it turns out good. So that's the piece that we had to print there that we were missing. This guy right here, and it was a fast print. So look at that. And so I got to pound a coupler into this end. Hey, 3D experiments. So we're going to take a coupler and we're going to put the coupler in this end. Like so. Oh, we got a little bit of a soft spot there. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we're going to put the coupler down. We're going to muscle the coupler into that. And let's see. Oh, I just cracked the part. That's not good. Oh. Okay, well, it's a good thing. Oof. Oof. No blood. Good. And I just wrecked the coupler. Ay, ay, ay. That was a bit, I should have cleaned that hole out maybe a bit before I tried to do that. Did I wreck the coupler, or do I just have to plug this thing back in here like so? I didn't wreck the coupler. There we go. But I did crack the part. There we go. So we're going to continue on with what we're doing as I go over here and I go to the cache, and we go and we print one more. There we go. Whoop. Make sure I put that bed back in properly, which it feels like I did. There we go. So we just print one more part while we're working. No big deal. And I'll be a little more careful not to crack the part. I should have just cleaned that little lip out first. Would have been fine. Pretty sure Steve Builds cracked his. I'll print another one. We're moving on to some other pieces here anyways. As I say, this part basically is an afterthought that plugs into the board, and it's the buffer, and it's not a critical step to put off until after. And I'm a perfectionist. If I crack a part, it might work. I guess I could have glued it. Whatever. Maybe print two. Maybe not. Anyway, I have confidence. I know I cracked it. So the second time will be a charm. I think that's what they're saying. Okay, so we've done this. Now we're going to, we got to remove something? What do you mean? I just finished putting that together. I'm going to sneeze. Bear with me 1 second. Excuse me. Sorry if you had headphones. I tried to hit the mute button. Oh. LOL, is that a play on words? It's visible, doesn't matter. The next one will crack too. Really? Oh, serious? Okay, well, you guys are making me want to... Oh. Let me find the piece. So what you're telling me here, oops, wrong button. What you're telling me here is if a crack part's good enough for Steve, a crack part's good enough for Tim. Okay, let me grab a coupler. Let me push this coupler in. I guess for what it's doing, you're right. It's just basically a filament. It's just bringing the filament in, and it might not affect the part. Let's see if this goes far enough. It does. No, it doesn't quite go far enough to do this, or maybe it will. Let's see. There we go. Okay, well, you know what? I will live with this then. I'll live with that. What do you think? Is that gonna work? See, there's where the crack is, right there. That was my concern, was that crack right there. But if you guys say it's gonna work fine, I'll believe you. So, Okay, if you say that's fine. Because really, I guess what's the main thing is that you can actually see through where the filament path is going, because all this is going to do is slide back and forth and hit those switches, if I'm not mistaken. So you have a quick clamp. It'll likely continue to split as your thought. Well, okay, let's see where this goes in. Let's take a look at the actual part where this goes in right here. So that goes down into there, and that little nibbly piece goes into the bottom there. So what we're saying here is that this goes down in like this. Okay. And then this is just going to slide depending on the filament. We're going to be hitting one switch or another. So yeah, that crack should not matter because it's not interfering with the slide here at all. Like that. Zip tie and glue. Well, you know what I could do too? If I take my 2P10, my 2P10 gel glue, and if I clean the tip of that off a little bit and make sure that we have an opening, if I take a little bit of the 2P10 gel glue and if I just go and fill that crack with gel, smooth it out with my finger, wipe the rest of my pants, that gel will seep into the crack and probably seal that crack just fine. So we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. And this is such a simple piece to take apart in the long run that if something does screw up and it, you know, people say, I told you so, well then this is simple to take apart and replace this part and put a new one in. Okay, so we pop that one down like so. And then we go ahead and pop the top piece back on, and then we secure it with 4 M3x8 screws. Okay. Sounds like a plan to me. Holding back the gel, crack jokes. Ah! Okay, so this goes in here. This goes like so, like that, like there. Let's just make sure that is correct. So we have that part coming out the front, we have that part sticking out there, and then this part goes on here like so. Oops. No, I got that backwards. Ah. No, I didn't have that back. Hang on a minute here. Right like that. There we go. And then the M3x8s. Are these the 8s? These are the 8s. No, the gel leaks and glues it in place. Is that an 8 or a 10? Oh, that's an M3x10. Oh, I see. And they hit the switches as they go. Okay, that's too short. That's too long. Where are my M3x8s? Where are my M3x8s? There's a bunch of M3x8s right there. See, I know it's M3x8 because it says M3x8. It's not all it's cracked up to be. Ah! These look like 8s. Well, hang on a second here. They were 8s that I had in there, but why are they not? Why did it bottom out and not tighten? Well, there we go. Okay. Well, when I put these on, I'll show you how far that comes out when I actually get this all tightened together. wasn't expecting to come out that far. That's what she said. Did the screw in this tiny driver, the Brent Ferguson shape that twisted a little bit of each ABS in the bottom. That's what she said. I beat you to it. Okay, so this, yeah, so this comes out that far. I can hear it hitting both switches. Okay, there we go. That's that. And then the next step on that was 5 of 5. It doesn't say anything right now about bending those wires and using the zip ties, but I would assume that because they have little zip tie holes here that I'm supposed to somehow zip tie these wires. But that'll come at a later stage, I am sure. But yeah, that does extend out pretty far before it hits that switch. So there we go. That is that portion done. Tim, you only beat me up. You only beat me up. It took forever to type ceramic squishy. That would take a while to type ceramic squishy in text. Yes. Okay, so we need to make a bit of room here, obviously, for. Oh, let's see. Now we got to bring the. We're going on to this. Remove the two M5 by 16 button head cap screws as shown. Remove the 220 by 220. Remove the extrusion from the frame. The AFC light control board will mount to this extrusion and will be easier to wire later when it is removed from the box turtle. Okay, so. Whoa, see, I gotta get used to these buttons. There we go. So we're taking this puppy here and we are removing, we have the filament output at the back here. So we're removing this one right here. That's why they tell you not to tighten it totally at the beginning, because you're going to remove it. That calls for the big driver. So we're going to remove that. We're going to go ahead and remove this one here. I'll do this backwards so you can see it on the camera. We got a wire sticking out there, but that's okay. Make sure the side hits the switch before they reach the hard limits on the other side. Make sure the slide hits the switch before they reach the hard limit on the other side. So, yeah, it does. It hits the switch. Yes, it hits the switch. I'll show you. And that's a good point. It hits the switch right there. It hit the switch. There's the hard limit. And there's the switch right there. And in the back side, there's the switch right there. Yeah, that's the switch on the back side right there. So yeah, we're good. Did I glue in the inlays or press them in? I pressed them in. These inlays here were so tight, I actually used a hammer and a little buffering piece between the hammer and this, and I hammered the inlays in. I didn't need to glue them in. They stayed in tight. It's weird how it gives it like a little shadow look, because that's perfectly flat on there. But it's weird how you get a little shadow look on that. But those are glued. Those are not glued. Those are pressed in extremely tight. So yeah, it's very cool looking though. Okay, so I can do it on this camera. So we're removing this end. Oh, wrong one. This one. I need my 3mm driver to do this. So we're removing this bottom one. Come on. Okay, and we're going to remove this one. Oh God, those aren't shadows, they're called stress fractures. No, they're shadows. And so we remove this, and so we have basically a broken or naked box turtle here, where this piece is kind of just flimsy whimsy. This little piece here is flimsy whimsy. Okay, let's see what the next step is here. I need more room on my desk, on my table. Okay, we're going to slot the roll nuts into previously removed 2020 extrusion. Orientation doesn't matter here. They're just ensure that the roll nuts are placed in the same channel. Appropriate distance from the threaded hole to threaded hole is 88 millimeters. Okay, so I'm going to just put the box aside for a second. Okay, here we go. Slotted T-nuts. BT mount hardware. This is what we want. This is a long build. This takes a few streams, doesn't it? Holy cow. And we want to roll in 2020 nut. Look at that. Roll in 2020 nuts. We'll take two of the, actually, let's take all these out of here and put them in a tray. Okay. And we'll take a roll in 2020 nut. And I like to roll my nuts in with a little bit of a hex driver. Like so. Andrew, behave. I can just see what you're typing now. Behave. Okay, into the same extrusion, same side, and there we are, and there we are, and and 88 millimeters apart. Let me grab my. This is to go to 88 millimeters. This goes to 150 millimeters. Look at that. Let me grab my LDO Motors. This is not an ad again, but look at that. Nice little ruler that I got from LDO. Got a few of those actually. So 88 millimeters. Actually, here, let's just do this. 88 millimeters apart from hole to hole. So I'll kind of center it. Why not? It says it doesn't matter the appropriate distance. Orientation doesn't matter. Just ensure that the roll nuts are placed in the same channel. The appropriate distance from the threaded hole to threaded hole is 88 millimeters. So I'm going to kind of, oh my God, you guys would not believe this. No, it's not. It was 90 millimeters apart. That's 88 millimeters apart right there. I was 2 millimeters off. So they were 88 millimeters apart right there. I don't know if it matters if it's centered in here or not. I guess I'll find out. I can always slide it back and forth if need be. So when the mods are the problem. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I need a drink. Hey, I'm watching you, Andrew. I am watching you. Give yourself a warning. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I love the fun streams. Okay. How did I end up back here? There we are. Oh, I get to bring out the big board now, don't I? Okay, ensure that the stepper drivers are properly installed at this time. Okay, so we need some stepper drivers, which I put in. Where did I put the stepper drivers? There's the board. Where are the stepper drivers? I know I saw the stepper drivers. Stepper drivers. Again, something I could have done off stream, but I didn't. There's the stepper drivers. Here we go. Lee Marie 3D, hello, welcome. Welcome. Okay, so we have our stepper drivers and we have our AFC light board V1.0 one piece. We got some clips and we got our board. I haven't opened this board yet. We have some plastic or cardboard to recycle. PG Steam from now on. Oh, okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, we're almost ready for a draw pretty soon. Anybody that's just joining us or isn't aware, up at the top of the chat and in the description, there is a link for you to enter to win some Polymaker. Okay, so go ahead and enter that. We have so far, I'm just going to double check. We have 64 people on stream. We have 49 entries. 49 entries and 64 people on stream. I may not be the best at math, but doesn't quite add up. The entries should equal the streams. Viewers should equal the likes. So just saying. Okay, we need the board mount. we need an AFC mount, which I believe is right here. Right here. Okay. And the beauty of this is, okay, which way does that mount go? Well, you know what? You don't assume. You just turn that upside down and say, okay, the screws are going on that outside of the mount like that. And it looks like we're threading into plastic for these as opposed to using heat sinks. Depending on the revision of the AFC light board you have, the input power section selection switch leads may be long enough to interfere with the printed mount. You may want to snip these shorts with a pair of flush cutters, being careful of the solder joints, of course. Mount the AFC light board to the printed mount as shown using two M3x8 socket head cap screws. These are threaded into plastic, so be mindful not to over tighten. Correct, O mundo. Okay, first thing we got to do is make sure that we have the stepper motors installed correctly. Now this is where I need to really do some thinking. Stepper motors right here. How the heck do I open this? Oh, maybe the plastic just peels right off of it. I think the stepper motors can only go in one way. I'm not sure. Here we go. Oh, look at that tiny, cute little BQ, or the Big Tree Tech business card. Look at that. Ah, can you read it? Don't know what it says. I do know what it says, but yeah, anyways. These are 2209s with the heat sinks. So let's see, they should only go in one way. Yes, there's really only one way. You got that little L on the board here, and you got the little L on your stepper motor here. So this can only really go in like so, like that. Okay. There is no duck. They didn't give a duck with these. I have lots of rubber duckies. Rubber ducky, you're the one. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Okay, and this one. There we go. And this one. Remembering as you touch electronics, try not to contaminate them with your greasy fingers. Okay, now we'll put some heat sinks on. Heat sinks are fun because you got the little bit of the, there we go. 1, 2, to make sure they face the right way. I'm kind of OCD, ACD, OCD, ACDC, OCD that way, whatever you want to call it. They got to be facing the right way, and they got to be pretty much in the exact same position on the board, at least for me. I know it's not critical. And 4. There we go. Toss this other stuff into the garbage bin. You want a Big Tree? I've got like 12 Big Tree Tech rubber duckies. I feel like a rubber ducky thief. Okay, so these go to the front. Now they're saying, making sure, and I don't, oh, there are some pins interfering. I see it's the power, there's a switch here. So what's going to happen? I see. So if you look on the back here, what they were saying is that there's some pins right there on the back that are going to hit the mounting board here. So I've got to shorten these pins right below this switch very carefully. Well, which isn't a big deal. Let me grab my side. Actually, I've got some cutters here that'll work fine. These guys here. So these are good too. These are not side cutters. I don't know what exactly these are called actually. Anybody know what these kind of cutters are called? This one like this, but that'll do the job too. So I just have to Be mindful of the solder and clip those pins off just like so. So all I did was shorten these pins right here. Nippers, bullnose. Okay, bullnose. Okay, bullnose, that makes sense. Bullnose nippers, these ones, as opposed to the side cutters. These are the ones that took the hunk out of this finger right there. Don't ask how. Leave it to me. Okay, do they want screws on all 4 sides? No, just the 2 sides it looks like we're putting on. Yeah, and that's what they were talking about in the diagram right here, that these pins right there may need to be cut depending on the version of the board, of the mounting plate that you printed. These ones right here. So makes perfect sense. And that other part that I reprinted, just finished reprinting, even though I didn't need to reprint it. Okay, so we can put that on there now. We need the M3x8 button heads, socket heads, button heads, whatever you want to call them. And I think these are the 8, like these look long to be 8s. Let me just double check here real quick. Are these 8s? Let me check here. I got my little screw measuring device here. Those are 8s. They just, I don't know, for some reason they just look like 10s. Okay, so we'll screw this in. That's going to be too long. Hang on a minute. There's supposed to be something going above that? No. That's, I'm just, unless it's okay if it protrudes right through. Okay, well, let's see. I would just think that a 6 would have been fine. Ouch, ouch, yes, see, because this is, I guess it doesn't matter, but that's just coming through the other side like that. I guess probably doesn't matter, but I'm thinking an M36 would have been fine, but they don't want to include M36s, M38s when an M38 would do just the same job, so that's okay. There we go. Okay, so we have that mounted like as per instructions. Okay, I don't know where those pieces that I clipped off of that, those pins went anyways, by the way. So, okay, let's continue and see where we're going next. Stop. If you have not flashed your AFC light and paired it with your printer, now is it what? Now is the time to do so. Now is also the time to make sure you have a CAN bus or USB plus power cables to connect your box turtle to your printer. Some useful. Okay, so do I really? Seriously? Okay, well, I guess they tell me to stop. I guess I got to stop. We got to do a draw anyways. Now, if you have not yet flashed your AFC light and paired it with your printer, now is the time to do so. Now is also the time to make sure you have your CAN bus or USB plus power cables made to connect your box turtle to your printer. So did they come with a power connector or a USB? I don't think so. What was that last cable that was here? I saw one more cable here that came with it that didn't have any home. Let's see, this one here. So this might be the power cable for it. I'm not sure. Let's just see where the power goes into this. This looks like the power right here, and this looks like it's plugging into the power right there. No, nope. They do not come with the power cable or the USB or CAN bus or USB plus power cable. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to have to do a bit of reading. So this looks like USB-C. Sure, this is the part that's going to confuse the crap out of me now when we start talking about cables and yada, yada, yada. I have a CAN bus, but I don't know if it's the same thing. I think I'll stick to USB because I don't know much about CAN bus. Don't know what this cable's for, but obviously this cable's for something. But obviously not to do with this board. Okay, well, let's do a draw anyways. And we'll have to come back to this. I may have to, let me just see what's next in the instructions here. Yeah, they want you to flash the board before you mount the board into the box. And then we're going to start mounting. I guess I could mount the spoolers in, the lane of spoolers, etc. in. We could go along and do that. And then we could always put the board in afterwards. Because they don't say to put the board in yet. After you do that, yeah, the board is still out when we're going to start mounting all the other stuff. So we could actually do a few other things other than mounting the boards. Like it said, we could mount the spoolers in. Because all we're doing is flashing the board, then mounting the board onto here. And then we're continuing on before we mount the board into the actual box. So the cable you were holding was for the less to the main board. Okay. For the LEDs. Oh, the LEDs probably. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we're going to hold off on this because I'm going to have to do the reading up on flashing this and so forth because I have no clue to where to begin to flash this. That's the weakness I have is the firmware and the flashing and all that stuff. I mean, I can flash it and go woo, but I don't think that's what they mean. I don't think that's what they mean. Don't cheat this time, Clownhammer. Let's do the draw so you can have your bourbon when you lose again. Okay, let's do the draw. Okay, guys, last chance. We are at 6:33. If you haven't entered, I'm going to give you 60 seconds to enter. There's a form. There's a link at the top of the chat or in the description. It's a link to enter the draw. I'm going to give you 60 seconds to enter, starting now. Hey, Siri. Set a timer for 60 seconds. Okay. Once this timer goes off, I'm going to close the draw. So get your name in. Right now we have 56 entries. Awesome. Get your name in and be there or be square or lose. So we have a minute to talk about whatever. So, yeah. I set off your phone. Of course, I probably set off a lot of series. Your phone just set a timer. Everybody's phone's got a 60-second timer going. Okay, 20 seconds. And I close the draw. We have 56 entries. We now have 57 entries. And I have to close the draw when I say I'm going to close the draw. So, okay, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There she goes. Okay, I have disabled the draw. Repeat, stop. I've disabled the draw. We now have the entries that are entered, and that's all the entries that we're going to have entered. And it looks like we have 57 entries. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to download the names to my spreadsheet. Bear with me for about, 32 seconds. Where'd my Excel spreadsheet go? Okay. Let's get all the names. Let's go there. Boom, there is everybody who has entered. Somebody said they think they're subscribed. So 2 people said they think they're subscribed to me. Oh my goodness, you guys, that's kind of funny. We're going to download as Excel. And it is downloaded. I'm going to grab the file I just downloaded. Bear with me. Downloads. There is the file, February 23rd giveaway. Okay, I'm going to open that spreadsheet. YouTube name. I'm going to copy all the YouTube names from people. There we go. Copy. And I think I got everybody. I do. So now what we do, how we do it, what we do. There we go. Some of us deserve a lifetime memberships by now, don't you think? Yeah, possibly. Here is the wheel. Let's get back over to the screen. There's the wheel. And there's the blank slate. And we're going to populate with the names. I'm going to paste them all in. There we go. There's everybody's name. We're going to give it a few shuffles here. Everybody should be on the wheel. If you don't find your name on the wheel, you've probably misentered something, but I did copy everybody's name. So in chat, I want a number between 1 and 13, and I'm going to take the fifth number. 1 and 13, the fifth number. Bum, 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 bum. 1, 2, 8, 7. Oh man, that went fast. Okay, the fifth number was 8, 7, 12. Fifth number, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth number was 3D Experiments with an XII, which is 12. Yeah, you don't think I know my Roman numerals, do you? Okay, so 12 is the winner. Okay, so we're going to shuffle the wheel 12 times. Then we're going to spin for the win. And when you win, you want to grin. Especially if I spin and I win, you name. 12 times. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good luck, everybody. Here we go. And the winner of Polymaker is. Dun, 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 dun. Is it going to make it? Is it going to get? Oh, stop, go, stop. Nick. Looks like Nick is the winner. Congratulations, Nick. Are you in chat? Nick. Say something, my man. Say something, please. Nick. There he is. Nick says thanks. Congratulations, Nick. You don't have to do anything now, right? It used to be that I would say you got to call me or email me, but I got your email on the entry form. I will, and I know what Jerry said, and I'm going to get on that. But Nick, tomorrow I'll send you the link and the code to redeem your Polymaker win. Okay, congratulations. I didn't get on that today, Jerry, and I meant to. That's okay, though. Congratulations again. Thank you for that. And let's go ahead and continue with what we're doing. Since I have no idea how to flash this thing, I'm going to go ahead to the next steps. So the next steps on this, if we look back on the screen, look down, pinned post. Look down, pinned post. Took down the pin. Oh, thank you, Jerry. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I've closed the form anyway, so there we go. Can we put a fake phone number in the entry form? I'm getting a ton of SMS spam since I filled out. Really? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, the phone number is just there. The phone number is not a necessity. In other words, it's not a required field. The phone number was there just in case there was an issue with the email, and I couldn't, like, if your email bounced back, or if you mistyped your email and I couldn't get a hold of you. That's the only reason that I said, okay, put a phone number in that case. I didn't realize that there was going to be spam and all that crap. So yeah, sounds like I hit the bourbon. I don't drink. I get high and I get drunk on life. That's about it. So yeah, I apologize if you have been getting spam from the phone numbers. I don't know where they would be coming from, because those don't go public unless it's some bot or some, I don't know, internet crap thing. So yeah. Okay. So because we're skipping this stage right here for now, we're going to move on to this. And this looks like it doesn't require me to put that piece back in, so which is good. And it looks like anything moving on from here is not requiring me to put that until maybe this step right here, when we're going to have to start wiring to the board. But we can get a few things done right here. So let's go ahead here, and we're going to say, okay, for spooler, identify the spooler with lane 4 N20 lead and slot it into lane 4 tray as shown. There are tabs protruding from the front of the spooler that slot into the extrusion insert. Insert those and rock the spooler into the tray. Okay, so there's tabs that make it in, and we're supposed to find the one that has lane 4 on the N20 lead. Okay, so lane 4 on the N20 lead, and I'm going to guess being lane 4, that's going to be the longest one. That's obviously lane 1. That's obviously lane 4. And that's obviously lane 3. So this I'm going to say is lane 1. And oh, lane 4. This is lane 4. Yeah, there, just like that. Just like I said, lane 4. Okay, so we do need to bring over now our box. And we want this to go like this. Gee, Tim, do you have an overhead camera view we can look at, see what you're doing? As a matter of fact, I do. Look at that right there. So we have lane 4. And we have lane 4. And this goes in. So the wires go through like so. And this slots into oops, make sure the wires go through and rock it. Oh, just like that right there. Okay, so just like so. And then it's going to sit there. Okay. Oh, look at that. Ah, so when you load filament, that locks into place. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Rocket, baby, rocket. Okay, so we do that, and then we, come on, where's my mouse? There we go. Then we turn it over, and we're going to put M3x8s, screwing the two M3x8s into the bottom. So let's go ahead and turn this over. Oops, and of course you turn it over and it falls way out of alignment. Should that be this awkward? I don't know. Anyways, we'll get an M3x8 screw, get it onto the head here. Come on, come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, there's the one. You almost need 3 hands here, in a sense, but this works. Why are you not grabbing? Grab. What's going on? I see the hole. Is this not sitting in flat? I don't think that's in properly. Oh, I don't think that's in properly. There we go. That's in better. Well, my holes are not lining up or something here. There they are. Is that not sitting flat when it's... Oh, that's not sitting flat. Oh, it's not rocked in. Hang on. Oh, see, I don't have this in properly. I guess I'm doing something wrong here. Okay, hang on. I thought I had it in, but obviously I didn't, because this should sit flat onto here. Ah, there we go. Okay, that clicked in now. There we go. It kind of clicked in. Now we can do this. Where is my son? I don't know where he is, where Ethan is. Ethan, if you're around, he's probably upstairs playing his game. Why are you still not going in, you son of a gun? He's into this game called Roblox. There we are. There's the one. And we're going to do the second one here. So it's a nice snug fit, basically, I guess is what it is. Actually, I should be showing you guys from this view here. Right here and here. A lot of good that does, doesn't it? Hang on. Hang on. There we go. That's better. So here we go. And like so. So we screwed those into there, like those with those two M3, those two right there. And on the front, kind of sits just like so. And flat like that. And these things are able to turn freely. Okay. Okay. What's next here? I'm telling you. Am I doing all four at a time now, or am I just doing one at a time? What's it saying now? Now we're going to put in the trigger retainer installation. Install the prep switch for lane 4 prep with an M3/8 screw and an M3 washer. Secure it in place where the switch, I should show you guys what I'm looking at here. Secure it in place where the switch is collapsed without forcing the trigger on the spool forward. The default state of the prep sensor should be fully closed. So we're looking here. So we have the prep sensor. Oh, I see. Okay, so the prep sensor is going to be fully closed with this in place. And we're securing that. And I see. So basically we have the ability to manipulate that up and down, but we want to manipulate it down enough so that the sensor is fully closed. Okay, that kind of makes sense. So on the bottom here, I guess I can put pressure. I could do that. I'm not going to put a ton of pressure on this. Okay, so if I go to the overhead again here, and let me get you guys a little closer. A little bit closer here. I think I can get a little closer here. There we go. There, how's that? That's not bad, okay. And I'm going to put something under here so we can level this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we're taking the switch with the number 4 again, which is going to be the longest wire, which I believe is this one right here. Prep 4. Okay. M3 washer. And I just have those in my hand right here. M3 washer. Brass inserts give you PTSD when you really? Okay, put these washers in here. Sure, they went everywhere but where I wanted them to go. Okay, M3x8. And then we put a washer on it. Okay, and then this guy goes, let's move this wire out of the way here. This goes like this. And we're going to move that down so that switch is fully closed. Okay, so that seems, whoa, I just dropped my screw and washer. There we go. That's what I call fast hands. Okay, so we put this in place. Oh, yeah, sure, drop the washer. Jeez. Drop the washer right here. Okay. This is so finicky, and my hands are so big and these parts are so small. Better off actually to take this part out, get the screw in here, and then point it down to the thread, and then screw that in. There we go. Okay, so before I tighten it, it says that it wants this sensor to be triggered. So right like fully triggered. Okay, fully triggered without pushing. Fully triggered, I imagine without this pushing. So triggered like that right there. And we will tighten that one in like that, so that when this moves, in other words, when you push filament in, it's going to trigger that. And then that magnet that we put in it causes that to come back and stay in place to close that switch. There we go. That's what I am assuming that is all set up for. I know nothing about this. Nothing about this, but I'm assuming that's what that's trying to tell us to do. There we go. If you do get this kit, you will try and insert press and see if you have better luck. Yeah, oh, you will. You will. Okay. If we go back here, we've done that. Oh, now, okay. Lane 4 extruder. Some users find it easier to install the 80 millimeter, 3 millimeter ID Bowden tube into the extruder spooler before securing the extruder to the underside of this tray. This will not be mentioned again. Identify the extruder for lane 4. Secure lane 4 extruder with the 2 M38 socket head screws as shown. So what do they mean by, okay, so some users find it easier to install the 80 millimeter inner diameter Bowden tube in the extruder spooler before securing the extruder to the underside of the tray. Okay, so what they're saying, and I'm getting what they're saying, is that they find, if I find the extruder, which is number 4, it's going to be, again, the one with the longest wire. This is number 2, I think. That's 2. This will be 4 right here, wherever this wire is going. Wherever this wire is, right here. I guarantee this is lane 4. Yep. So what they're saying, I think what they're saying is that some people find it easier to install the Bowden tube in here prior to putting it in here so that you don't have to fiddle with it, yada, yada, yada. Possibly. I don't know if I want to do that, but let's just see. So this is going to go in this way, and this sits on that, and this here. No, I think there's going to be room for putting, I don't think I'm going to worry about that. So we're going to secure this overhead cam. So we're going to secure this guy. There's 2 of the heat insets we did there. So that's going to be secured like so and like so. Like that. And this one is going straight. Let's look at that. That one's going straight. And then we don't need to worry about washers. No, just 2 M3x8 socket head cap screws. And I think I'm okay with putting the Bowden tube in after. I think it's a matter of, you know, that's pop away. You're thinking like me, maybe. Hey, good night, Jose. Thanks so much for being here, Jose. Have a good night. I know it's late for you, so appreciate you being here as always. So, yeah, we're going to go for a little bit longer, another 5-10 minutes. Okay, so I think, you know, and pop away, you got a good point there. I got big hands, and getting my big hands in here could be an issue. So 80 millimeter. I'm going to assume, and I know I shouldn't assume anything, but I'm going to assume that this cutter that we got is going to tell me the length of 80 millimeters here for cutting that tube. So let's grab our ruler here and just see. And that is, in fact, 80 millimeters for that second cut. Actually, well, it's printed right on the side, 80 millimeters. I didn't have to measure it. Almost 3 a.m. in Portugal. Holy cow. Okay, so the tube, which I had set aside, is right here. So let's cut that and put that piece in now. If they say it makes it easier, then you know what? Who am I to complain? Who am I to argue? Nice to stand up. Okay, we'll cut this, and we'll give this a cut here. And I have a lot of this extra tube, actually. I have a whole, which this stuff would probably work too. I have a whole bundle of clear tubing from, oh, that's silicone. I have a whole bundle of other clear tubing, though, from, is this the other stuff I have? Let's see if this is the same stuff. I keep a lot of this stuff on hand because it comes in handy. Yeah, I do. This is the same stuff from Bamboo, and this is the 80 millimeter clear tubing as well, or the 3 millimeter inner diameter tubing. So I got a lot of this, lots of this stuff. If I happen to screw up cutting 80 millimeters on this, which I shouldn't. So if I just go ahead here, like so, here, let's zoom this out a hair. There we go. Okay. So we'll take this tubing, we'll put it in here like that. We'll take my sharp knife and we will cut 80 millimeters. We'll just do the one for now. Okay, so there we go. We have 80 millimeters cut. Grab my little toopty here and pop that out. There we go. Okay, so whoa. So let's put this in here. Now, did we get retainers or do we need retainers? I don't believe they came with retainers, so I'm going to assume we don't need retainers. They don't talk about putting retainers in them. And then this would go into the bottom one here like so, and then we would screw this in place with the wires out of the way. That is quite the bend on it, but I suppose that's what it is. Okay. As long as it's not crimping, you can print the retainers. I've got retainers kind of on my yin yang in a drawer over there somewhere. I've got a ton of retainers for those. So this, oh, there we go, just like that. Okay, so then we're going to put that M38 in, making sure I'm not pinching any wires. And we'll get this one going. So that looks like a nice gentle curve there. And it's probably for me, as you said, it's probably easier for me with the big hands. Do I have a chamfer drill bit? A chamfer drill bit. Chamfer. I don't think so. Why do I need one? 2 millimeter inner diameter tubing. 3 millimeter inner diameter tubing, I think is what they said here. That's what they've called for here. This tubing that they've provided, let's see, maybe they're wrong. Yeah. If you read if you look at the display, if you read right over here, right there, they say 3 millimeter inner diameter, but I don't think what I have is 3 millimeter inner diameter. I'm pretty sure this stuff is 2 millimeter inner diameter. Yeah, this is 2 millimeter. It's recommended to chamfer the ends of the 3D piece. Is it really? Oh, I guess to make it go in easier. I've never done that. They don't say that, or do they say that later? Hang on. Let's just see if they actually mention that, because maybe that's something I want to get. We're not going to go much further tonight anyways. So we got that part done. The next step is the intended wire routing for lane 4 is shown here. So if we go here, there's the intended lane wire routing for lane 4. So we're going to run that along there into the board. And as I learned from watching somebody else's stream, there are a bunch of zip tie openings in some of these for running zip ties through for doing your wire routing. So like right in here, there's I'll show you actually, if I grab a zip tie real quick here, there's a zip tie thing right there. There's a zip tie thing here. There's one here. There's one here. And there's all the way up to here. There's zip tie things for for zip tying your wires down. And there's one under here, et cetera, et cetera. They're all over the place, which is pretty cool that they thought that far ahead. 2 different sizes in the kit. Is there 2 different sizes in the kit? I only saw the one. Okay, so maybe I have the wrong piece in there. Let's just see. So there's 2 different sizes of PTFE tube in the kit. I only saw the one. Let's see. No, that's the Filametrics kit. This is the only one I saw in the kit. If they're saying 3 millimeter, well, like, but I do see what you mean about the cutting the chamfer on those. It matters little on the first tube. Okay. Angle these outward extruders towards the hub. Well, they've given, there's only one, they actually, the way they've done these, the way they've said to put these heat inserts, it looks like, other than this one, which I put in by mistake, it looks like they all go in straight. But I have seen some ones angled before, and I don't know, I don't know if it really does. I guess it would make a difference if you angle it to make it a straighter path towards the hub. They don't show that in the instructions, but I have seen people that have done that. So, because I think when you go, let me just go to page, let me back this up a bit here and just see something here. Because they don't show them angled in the instructions here, but it doesn't mean that you can't angle them, I suppose, if it's going to make life a little easier. Let's go to 22 here. Load, load, load. 23. Okay. Yeah, see, they're not showing angling any of them, but I've seen them angled. Is it a good idea to angle them? Okay, so if I'm going to angle them, then what I should do in that case is I should put heat insets in these other ones here as well. That's probably why they have the ability to put heat insets in them, is to do that little bit of an angle. Yeah, it makes the routing easier. Okay, well, maybe I'll do that. So basically what you're saying to do is we take this one off. Let's take that one off. Loosen this one for now. Actually, we're going to take this one off for now. Okay. And so you're saying to put a heat inset in here. Will a heat inset go in there? Yeah, it looks like it will. So put a heat inset in here and secure this one at that angle there. And then like that. Okay. Okay, 3D Experiments, take care. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Okay, but I see what you're saying. And then the same thing on this end. On this end, we'll put a heat inset in here. Right in here. And we'll angle this one towards this. And these two ones in the middle can come straight in because they're going to go in this one and this one. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Okay, I will do that. We're at 7:04 anyways. Okay, so I will do that. So my homework for this week, because we're going to call it quits here, my homework for this week will be to flash this board or figure out how to flash this board. If I can't, I may reach out to some people for some help. We'll see. But I got to flash the board. So I'm going to just go, okay, flash the board. I will put some heat insets in here. And what I'll likely do is I may route one or two of these and get going ahead because, you know, once you've seen, and then, you know, maybe save the last two for my next stream for people that want to see how it's done. But I think that's what I'll do. But I think we're making some pretty decent progress on this build right now. So everything seemed to go pretty good today. I don't like leaving that leaning against that. I'm just going to prop this up with a couple of these little measuring devices here. There we go. That way that's not sitting flat on the desk. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Esto Electrical's guide is excellent. Esto Electrical's guide. Okay, we'll have to look at that. Esto Electrical's guide. Let me pop over here and do this. I'm going to actually just copy that and have a look. I'll have a look at that and see. Copy. And let's come over here. Paste. Okay. We'll have a look at that for sure. And I'm also going to look at hang on, where's the window I need? Right there. And I'm also going to look at There we go. Thank you for the recommendation for the Nipex wrench. I'm going to look at one of those and see if that's going to make life a little bit easier when it comes to doing that. You second Estoerical's guide. I'll look at that and see. And I'll also look at something for cutting the PTFE. I know what you mean by putting the chamfer on the PTFE tube. It takes that little jamming possibility away when it comes in there. It's sort of like yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I really do. I'll look at a tool that can maybe do that too, because you can never have too many tools. So anyways, okay guys, that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you so much for everybody that was here. We had a lot of people. Congratulations again to Nick for winning the Polymaker draw. Nick, I will be getting a hold of you tomorrow. And I think until then, you can use a 6mm drill bit as well. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, makes sense. Just a drill bit, because that's going to just drill out the part and it's going to put the chamfer on it. That would work as well. I don't know if I have a 6mm bit, but I'll have a look and see. But thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. As always, you guys are excellent and amazing, and I completely appreciate each and every one of you. So we're gonna pick this up again next week. I'll try and do a little bit of stuff in between so that we're not being so redundant on things, but it's been fun as always. So until we see you guys next week, have a great week. Stay warm, stay cold wherever you are, stay cool or stay hot, and have a good week, everybody. We'll catch you the next time. Bye for now.